Hello there, this is Battle Born again. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the exploitation of the scapegoated child, the role that the scapegoat has to play since they are born, and a little bit about dynamics within a narcissistic family. A rule to remember when it comes to narcissistic families. And when I say narcissistic families, I'm talking about families that is run by one or more narcissists. Is that the more in the middle you are of the family, the worse your experience will be. So if you can try to picture a circle, and if you are in the middle, or if you are in the center of the circle, your experience is going to be worse when you're dealing with narcissistic families. And this is usually the position that scapegoats are put into. This is usually how it looks. Scapegoats are also usually the one that is the last born. If there are several children, they are usually the last born, meaning that they are the youngest one of the bunch. This is not always the case, but this is generally how it looks, the stereotypical narcissistic family. And the reason for this is not that well explained, but I do believe that narcissists have a tendency to have one of the children idealized and one of the children scapegoated. And when they have this position with a younger and an older child, the older child will automatically be more mature. Basically, they will be able to take care of themselves more. So the youngest child might get these talks or speeches that they are helpless and useless and all these things just because they are the youngest child. And this is not something that this child understands, of course, at this age, but this is how the narcissist views it, and they see that one child is more less depending on them. Even though the narcissist is conflicted and they want children to depend on them, they still don't want it. So it's like this push and pull dynamics that goes through the family all the time, and children of narcissists will feel that they are being pulled towards the narcissist when the narcissist needs something, and when they don't need anything anymore, they are being pushed away. So this is basically how the dynamics of a family run by narcissists will be. So the scapegoated child is being exploited on so many levels. Not only do they have to, according to the narcissist, take the blame and shame and the guilt and all these things and carry it throughout the family, because the narcissist and usually the spouse of the narcissist are not mature enough to do this themselves. So they need a scapegoat. They need somebody to do this for them, basically to do the job for the parents. So everything that is being seen as flaws and faults are put onto this child, and basically this is the reason why things are not working. But at other times, the scapegoat might be useful in different settings, and that's really what I want to talk about in this video. And what the scapegoats learns and eventually internalizes is that they will be happy with basically nothing. That the small breadcrumbs that is spread or given to them at times when the narcissist wants something is gonna be identified, or they're gonna internalize this as love, as something that they always wanted, as being seen and validated and all these things, when in reality it is nothing but use. And that is basically what narcissists do as well. They use, exploit, and abuse. That's the role of the scapegoat, and that's basically how all people are treated eventually by the narcissist. But for the scapegoat, it is a very long-lasting position to be in. So if you are in the center of this family, what you have to do if you are in a narcissistic family and working your way out of it is to get outside of the center. Get as far as you can to the outside of that circle distance yourself from the people that you have identified as narcissists, and distance yourself also from the people pleasing people that is surrounding the narcissist. Basically, have a picture in your mind that you're going to try to get outside that circle as safe and quickly as you can. And because if you are in the middle of it, you're going to be, so much things are going to be put onto you. It's going to be unbearable after a while. And I'm pretty sure that most people that have been scapegoated or have been in that position in their life, if you just picture your family, you will see that narcissists, they don't really dare to take that center role themselves. They like to have control and to be in the center when it is suitable for them to be in the center, but emotionally and really at the core of how things are working, they are really not at the center at all. It is the scapegoat that is at the center. It's basically the scapegoat that is making the wheels turn in the family. A lot of times they will also be put in the position of being a messenger, going back and forth between siblings, going back and forth between a narcissist and their spouse. Being put in that position is extremely draining for a child. And this might also be put onto the golden child, because narcissists do parentify their own children. And one thing is to be parentified when it comes to taking care of your younger siblings or helping out your siblings. That is pretty much happening in all kinds of families. But what is different in a narcissistic family is the emotional parentification that is going on. Narcissists will pretty much see nothing wrong, or they don't see anything wrong with putting their children into roles as, you might say, surrogate this surrogate husband if it is a narcissistic mother, or a surrogate wife if it is a narcissistic dad. So he will treat his daughter as basically a backup wife emotionally, and with a narcissistic mother she will treat her son as a backup husband emotionally. And this will of course get worse if there is a breakup, if there is a divorce, and the family is split and the children have to be and they usually go with the mother in these instances. And yeah, if you then are in this position and nobody gets to see what is going on, this might really, really escalate, and you might see that the narcissistic mother will start to move closer towards her son, or the narcissistic dad will start to move closer to his daughter emotionally and sometimes even physically. Narcissists do not see really that they do anything wrong in this event, even though they know they are, but to them they are not, because narcissists work in manipulation and exploitation. That's what they do. And if they can have their needs covered, they don't really care about how other people feel at all, even their own children. Even if this might scar and hurt their children for a lifetime, it doesn't really matter to the narcissist. And this might also go on with other siblings. It might not just be the scapegoat. The golden child might also be put into this semi-husband kind of role. And what is important to remember is that the golden child is also being abused. It's not just the scapegoat. It's just different form of abuse, and different personalities going around basically in the family. So abuse is taking place all over the board. So it's not just the scapegoat that is being abused, but it's more visible that the scapegoat is being abused, and there is a lot more being put onto the scapegoat of a negative character, because being praised and being idealized as the golden child is not easy either. It's a hellish position to be in. And what you will also see a lot of times is that these roles, they change, they mix. And one day you might have the scapegoat being idealized into being the golden child, and the next day he or she will be devalued again. And this is again the loop. This is again the the pattern that the narcissist follows. So they need this change to occur all the time, because this stimulates the narcissist's senses, and they get this rush when they're able to put somebody and idealize someone, and then they kick them out basically from that position. So this has to take place, and this usually takes place between the golden child and the scapegoat. So again, what's important to remember is to remove yourself from the center. Get away from the center of the circle when you are in this family. Some things might be helpful to do visually, and that might be to draw like your family tree, and to see where you are in that family tree if you are in a narcissistic family, and try to remove yourself from like I said, the center of that tree, from the middle of that tree. Try to get to one of the branches that is on the side, as long as you have to deal with these people, and as long as you choose to deal with these people. Because to be in the center means that you will get everything onto you. You will get all the rain, all the thunder, everything will come crushing down on you all the time, and you're not really going to realize that this is what is going on, because you're so used to it by now. But I promise you that eventually it will come to a point where it will almost break you, and it's very difficult sometimes to see that it will break you, because like I said, a lot of people that are in this position, they believe that they can take more and more, because that's the game the narcissists play, and your body and your mind is usually not going to give you any warning signs before things break. So like I said, try to get to the edges of your family if you are in a narcissistic family as soon as you can. And I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening in, and have a good day.